anybody that owns it, if they see it, they'll definitely know it's for them. Because me, my jewelry, I didn't put it in that type of thing. My jewelry is in like a whole bag.
The BBNAIJA show is a show where people come to change the trajectory of their life. It's a door that opens wider doors. It's a place people come to pursue their dreams, to find themselves more and more, to introduce themselves to the larger audience. So it makes me quite sad when, instead of chasing your dreams or taking advantage of opportunities, we go into trivial things like defamation of character, name calling. It's something that's quite worrisome to me, yes. And it's not something that I subscribe to or take lightly. That's what we have seen in the past 2 days in the BBNAIJA house between Nelly and Chinwe. The jewelry issue, all right, where one, that's Chinwe, is accusing the other, Nelly, of being an armed robber, of stealing her jewelry. Well, you're welcome to BBNAIJA updates here on Leadership TV. I am Cynthia Omado, and this is where I give you the spice and the gist happening in the Big Brother house. Don't forget, the season is called No Lose Guard, and we can see a lot of housemates lose guarding. There's a lot of back talk, there's a lot of backbiting, there's a lot of name calling, defamation. Well, this is week 3, and we can see that the game has actually started, and these housemates are taking advantage of every tact, every opportunity to play their game. But when it becomes quite dangerous, that's what I don't subscribe to. Let's get right into this Nelly versus Chinwe situation. All right, early hours of yesterday, we saw Chinwe raising her voice, screaming, about a bag that has left where exactly she kept it, with contents of 24 karat gold and all of that. We saw her man right beside her. We saw Suj also quite whispering to her. We don't know what that was about. And then she was screaming, "And robber, thief, this." And somebody asked her, "Who are you talking about?" She said, "Suj's babe." So we actually knew who exactly she was talking about, who is Nelly. And the camera moved to the room, and Nelly was just there, non-reacting. And it would have been expected that Nelly would react and come out and say, "Why are you insulting me? Why are you calling me, why are you calling me a thief?" But then in Big Brother's house, there's a lot of mental energy that goes into every decision you make. Before you take 2 steps forward, you have to think how that will make you look, or how you take 2 steps backward, because you have the cameras all over you, and you don't really know how that reaction is going to make you look outside of the house. That's why I said the Big Brother house is not really quite as easy as people make it look. From the first moment people step their foot in that house, they have already started playing mind games. All right, before I came in, you saw the video where Nelly was explaining to Suj about her conversation. Of course, this conversation was encouraged by Suj, because what we learned yesterday when Nelly was discussing with her partner Anita and Cassia, about the whole armed robbery, thief, jewelry issue. She said Suj advised her not to attack or confront Chinwe, like to make her have look bad in a way, but draw her to a corner and then have a conversation with her. So towards the afternoon period, we saw the camera moving towards the laundry area, and we saw Chinwe and Nelly. And the only thing we could make out of that was Nelly telling Chinwe, "Okay, sorry, I'm sorry." And that was it. We saw Nelly walking away. So we didn't even get the beginning part of that conversation, the middle. We don't even know the trajectory where that conversation started or even ended. And we just heard Chinwe saying, "It's fine, it's okay, no problem." And then the camera moved to showing people in the gym. I think this is one problem that we have to address. I really don't know why Big Brother is hoarding content. The camera crew seems to be doing a very bad job this year. There's a lot of half gist. Sometimes when you hear these housemates talking and the things they say, you'll be wondering, this same show that I watch 24/7, how did I miss this? So this calls to mind the fact that the camera crew are lagging behind, or maybe they're actually doing it on purpose, because we hear these housemates saying things that happen in the house, and then you'll be so shocked. You say, "When did this happen? How? This is a show that I watch all the time. When did this happen?" So Nelly was explaining to Suj last night or early hours of this morning, updating him on her conversation with Chinwe. And of course, she said, "Chinwe, I heard you screaming and all of that, saying armed robber and all that." And Chinwe totally denied and said she was just screaming, but immediately Suj told her that it was Nelly that kept the bag there. Then she stopped. And we know that was actually, a very big lie. We know Chinwe was actually lying. Yes, she knew that it was a Suj that gave that bag to Nelly. Or rather, Nelly gave that bag to Suj to keep, and she kept on shouting, screaming, armed robber, blah, blah, blah. So Nelly kept on explaining to Suj that the last 1 week, even since the eviction of the Tammy crew, that Damilola and Tulasi, she hasn't done her laundry. So she had a pile, and then she put everything in a laundry bag and went to do her laundry. So while doing her laundry with Suj, she found this particular, red little bag with jewelry in it, and then she opened it to see the contents, and then she saw a phone number with Precious written on it. So she was thinking that this belonged to the Mbadiwe, because the Mbadiwe had Precious written on their various bags, and then she felt, okay, maybe I should just go keep it in the closet area. Whoever it belongs to will pick it up from there. And funny enough, when Chinwe was screaming, she said, I have 24 karat gold in here, I have Ruth's earrings in here, blah blah blah, and all that. So I don't really understand this whole issue. You get, that Chinwe and Ruth have the hots for Nelly, and they've even spoken about it before, that they are actually going to set a trap for her. So could we see a setup happening here? But we would never know, because the camera crew are holding that information from us. I think when it comes to defamation of character and accusation of theft, this is where Big Brother should come in. This is where Ebuka should come in, to investigate and settle the issues and ask the right questions. Because still that yesterday, Chinwe had her diary session, explaining to Big Brother about her issues with Zion and the other housemates, and she never even made mention of this jewelry situation with Nelly. You would think that if you had your jewelry missing in the house that contained your jewelry bag that contained 24 karat gold, you would think that you will make more noise about it than what she's actually, what she's actually showing. But that's the funny thing about Big Brother, the Big Brother house. People try to plan for each other. People have each other in mind, and they try to make you look bad. But I think I like the way Nelly went about it. I like that she listened to Suj and didn't react immediately. Some people might say that if you're accused of theft, you should, shut that accusation down immediately. But then the Big Brother house is a place that involves tact. So you have to be very sensible when you are making some moves. But then what we will never know is why Nelly was even apologizing to Chinwe at the end. Does it have to do with the same jewelry case, or is something entirely different? This is something I want Big Brother to sort out. I want to know who is not telling the truth between those two ladies, Nelly or Chinwe. There are other informations that we need to get, to actually come to a conclusion, because being called an armed robber, a thief, or an anini, it's not a funny thing. No, it's like a paste on someone's reputation. Imagine walking into the Big Brother house, with a clean reputation, clean name, and then coming out and being labeled a thief and an armed robber. It's not something that I think anybody deserves. So I think Big Brother should actually step in and settle this particular issue, because there are a lot of questions that are up I would really love to know. So moving on now, let's take a look at Wani and Handy having a conversation with Sean yesterday, and Sean said, "Oh, OC told me that he had something to do with Handy outside of the house, but I shouldn't tell anybody. But he told me not to tell anybody." And then Sean was like, "Yeah, I know, they told me." And so I was like, "Really, you know?" I said, "Yes, I know," and all that. So Sean was like, "Okay, Handy, what's going on there? You had something to do with OC." And then Handy said, "Yes, we had something to do. We're just having fun, we're vibing, but OC is so controlling." And then she said something about OC, fighting her ex-boyfriend in the club, and OC was not really, nice to her. It wasn't really a relationship she enjoyed. And then I'm like, these housemates, they are strong. I've never seen Handy and OC in any awkward situation. I've not even seen them conversing. So these people have actually shared this kind of memories, and they have this kind of past together, and they've not even, looked at each other in a certain way. The surprises we get from watching the Big Brother show is just funny. And then Sean said something in the lines of, "Okay, I'm very happy it's Handy and not Wani, because if it was Wani, I'll feel some type of way. To be too awkward. Imagine coming to the house, dating a girl, and then her ex is there, and then her ex is like one of your close buddies in the house, because we know the Mbadiwe Twins Oz and OC are close pals with Sean. So that revelation was just really a lot. And we know the twins, they are girls that I love a lot in the house. They're very realistic, they're very open. Some people might say they're talkative, they talk too much, but then that's something about a reality show. If they don't say stuff, you won't have anything to talk about. Yeah. But then there should be boundaries in things you say. But I give them kudos because they don't even show, that they know those guys from anywhere. There was nothing to even signify that there was any past relationship. All right, let's move on now. Wani was also discussing with her sister Handy about the custodian power that they have to wield on Sunday, and then she said, "There is nobody in this house that is off limits. The only person that is off limits is Sean. Sean is the only person that I would say if he's on the chopping block. But if I have to take out anybody, I would do that blindly because that person is my competition. That no hard feelings. It's a game and I'm playing it." So they're going back and forth, and I was wondering, okay, you say you save Sean, isn't Sean supposed to also be your competition? But then playing the Big Brother game, some people might be against playing it with emotions. Just be emotionless. You may lay on the same bed with somebody on a day, and then you wake up the next morning and you send that person home. We've seen that happen. Even the Big Brother Titan house, we saw Tati doing that too. Kanaga Jr. and there was an entire uproar. But then they're there to play a game. Why play a game with emotions? But people always say there's life outside the Big Brother house. Everything that you do in this house is going to determine the kind of relationship you have with these people outside. And these people might be a source of help to you tomorrow. You don't know where you will meet them. As they always say, tomorrow is pregnant. So there's just like a balance. Okay, play the game or not play the game. Because you have to remember why you are there in the first place. That those people are your competitors. So if you have to take anybody out, you do that without even having any bad mind or any bad blood or any feelings or whatever. All right, Anita's birthday was yesterday, and of course Big Brother celebrated her in a unique way. I always love looking forward to birthdays in the Big Brother house because of the way Big Brother goes all out with the cakes, the snacks, the drinks, the music. It's just that feeling, even though it's like they are locked in a prison, but still making it as realistic as possible. And then we saw the housemates celebrating with Anita. I feel like Anita is really loved in that house. So within their pair, that's the Nelita pair, that's Nelly and Anita, I feel like Anita is the most loved. She has this calm, soothing spirit, and Nelly is like the fire between the both. I think Anita is like the water, and then Nelly is the fire. So Anita was really celebrated yesterday. Housemates had a lot to say to her, sweet words. Everybody gave a speech. Every single person gave a speech. Of course, not moderated by her friend Nelly. One after the other, they went. They said nice words to her, and Tofa was also there. They danced. They cut the cake, and there was just general good vibes because in the last 2 days, that's almost been like quarrel. Okay. Nelly and Mbadiwe Twins, they had their own. Nelly, being dragged by Chinwe. The twins with Ruti, they were just, and then the Mbadiwe Twins with Fairme again, something that started as a joke and then ended in a very funny way. We'll still talk about that, as we progress. So the house has been quite almost toxic. So it was actually good that Big Brother did this, to kind of take advantage of Anita's birthday to like calm the mood. Well, I think it's Anita's birthday that calmed the mood, that came at the right time with the celebrations and everything. Okay, let's take a look at some of the diary sessions yesterday. Let's look at Double K and Zinwe. All right, we know the Double K duo, that's Kelly Ray and Cassia. They are playing this game of pretend. They're husband and wife actually, but they've made the housemates believe that they don't even that they've been friends for, I think they said 5 years. They said they've been friends for 5 years, and they just behave like they've never even dated or whatever. They almost behave like strangers in the house. So Cassia was complaining to Big Brother that it's getting quite difficult for her. There are moments she wants to jump on her husband, kiss her husband, but she cannot because she has to keep pretending. And even see him getting close to some ladies in the house is actually bringing up her insecurities. Springing up her insecurities and all of that. So Big Brother tried to calm her down and even encouraged her, saying whenever she wants to hug her husband, she should just come into the diary room and do that. And then on his own part, okay, before I forget that, Big Brother had a solo, you know, diary session yesterday. You know, usually it's by pairs, but Big Brother called them one after the other into the diary room. Well, Kelly Ray was talking about, you know, trying to date or trying to pursue Handy and Anita, kind of to get the attention of the housemates away from him and his wife. And then he gave reasons why he even, you know, came into the game with this pretense. He said if they came in as a couple, then all eyes would be on them, and the housemates would kind of like target them and send them home on time. That's why they decided to just play the game solo as single people and pretend that they don't even know each other like that. So he said he tried to pursue these particular ladies just to take away, you know, attention of the housemaid. But he said his wife is kind of, you know, behaving jealous and all of that. She's not taking it lightly, but she just, you know, has to. And then he in a funny way talked about his wife's ship with Toby Forge. He said my wife's ship in the house is with Toby Forge, and he has encouraged his wife to, you know, vibe with him, but don't lead him on. Know your boundaries. Just, you know, vibe with him normally, you know, play with him and all of that. I feel like this idea was Kelly Ray's. Out of the two, I feel like this idea is Kelly Ray's, because it can't be Cassia's. Yeah, because she seems like she's struggling, and Kelly Ray seems like, you know, he's strong. He can do this for a long period, no shaking. Like he's not even bothered. He could care less. It's not really easy for them, but I give kudos to them. Imagine not, you know, relating with your husband in that way for almost 3 months, and they're having to play the game of pretend. I think they are the pair with one of the strongest strategies in the house. I'll say kudos to them. It's really not easy. The mind game that goes into every single day in the Big Brother house is something that, you know, it's funny to watch and it's very interesting to look at. Moving on now, the Mbadiwe Twins and, you know Nelly with Ozzy, they had their squabble about who suffer pass. You know, Femi was talking about his family and how he suffered growing up, his parents, what they had to do to feed, and OC kind of was trying to shut that down and say, you know, everybody suffered, blah blah blah. And then I think Nelly interjected and said, yeah, but suffer get grade. You get, it's grade by grade. You might say you suffered 0%, another person's suffering might be like 5% or something. So it definitely depends. And Ozzy didn't take that, you know, lightly. He was like, no, suffer is suffer and all that. Then Nelly asked him, okay, Fairme kind of asked him, where were you born? He said UK. Nelly started laughing and said, okay, how can you say you moved to the UK rather when you were 12 years old? You had a passport and everything. So how will you say you suffered? And then the thing just went left from there. It was like a joke, and then it transcended into Ozzy calling out Nelly and saying, behave yourself, don't talk to me like that. Do you think you can talk to me like that because you are now the HOH? And Nelly just blew up and said, what brought HOH into this matter? I know if they pain you, you've been pained since I've been a HOH. You always feel like I can't perform. You think like your word is the final word, and it just, you know, it became something else. And these people still have each other in mind, because yesterday they were in the corners talking. Ozzy and OC were on one side, Nelly with Suge on another side, and then they're just, you know, complaining about each other. I think when people have misunderstanding like this in a house like that, the next thing to do is to, you know, start trying to explain or shalaye to other people, and what else do you want to do? Because you've had issues with that person and you're still seeing them face to face. They even had to be in the travel better group together, so it's really not easy. But some people have said, okay, go and apologize to Ozzy. You know, he's older, he's more experienced, he's really hurt by what she said, you know, and they already feel like people have targets on their back, because it's like, okay, they are the richest there, they come from an influential Nigerian family, so people are already looking at them like, okay, you people are like the bosses. You know, you are kind of trying to paint a bully tag on them. I know the Mbadiwe Twins, they kind of do too much, but they are people that I like their vibe. They're quite knowledgeable, well traveled, but there's a thin line between trying to share your knowledge and trying to shut down other people. There's just a really thin line, and I think that's what they are missing in the house. Yeah. There's a, you know, yesterday while Nelly was speaking with Suja and Tofa said something, you know, about the Mbadiwe Twins, saying that Femi is gay. Yeah. Calling, I don't know which of the Mbadiwe Twins, but definitely one of them, saying Femi behaves like a girl, Femi is gay, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, okay, when these people come out of the house, The dragging will not be small thing. I can't wait for reunion. That is if it will even happen, because these people have really said hurtful things to themselves, and I cannot wait for when they come out and get to hear, and get to hear what these people are saying about each other. It's really it's really funny. How can you just wake up and call somebody gay just like that because of their mannerisms or how they love to take care of themselves or their outfits and all that? But then that's what you get in a house with like 26 people. Moving on now, let's talk a bit about the alliances and what we are seeing forming. I don't really know why in this particular season I'm seeing this bottom four of a thing. It's like it reduces people's season. Like when people appear in bottom four, it's like their confidence just goes down. They're not as confident as they used to be. There's just this hierarchy that happens. We know there was an alliance within Mbadiwe Twins and Sean, Wani Handy, and of course the Aces and Nelitas. And then we're seeing something between Chinwe and the Streets and Flourish also. But since the Zingis appeared in bottom four, it has kind of become worse. It's like, okay, bottom four just reduces your steez. Like, okay, you appeared in bottom four, I can't be your friend anymore, you're not my class. We saw it happening to Onyeka when Onyeka, the checkers, were in bottom four, and Zingwe actually used it to drag them and say, I can't wait for you to go home, you're in bottom four, please, I can't even talk to you. And we also saw it happening when the twins, DJ Twins, that's Hani and Wandy, were having their squabble with Ruthie, and then they said, I can't even wait for you to go, I don't even know why I'm giving you highlights, okay, because you're in bottom four. So what is it this season with bottom four? In previous seasons, even when people we see people call each other up for in the diary room, there are times that Big Brother have put everybody up, but we've not really seen this kind of dynamic playing out, because people don't really have that knowledge of what is happening outside. But now it's almost like, okay, we know what's happening outside, we know the favorites, we know who people like, we know who people don't like. So when your name comes up in bottom four, your steez reduces. It's like the rest of the housemates just like, okay, please, you're bottom four, please just shift, people don't like you. And I don't think I like that dynamic, but I learned that this week is the last week that the custodian power would hold. Yeah, so we'll probably see Big Brother initiate more and more new rules and new styles and all of that. I cannot wait, really. I like a Big Brother game I like changes, I like shock. Don't keep doing the same thing all the time. And even this custodian of a thing, I quite praise it, because Big Brother has not really used this particular challenge before, but then it's ending this week, so I can't wait to see the dynamic that will play out. If housemates have the right to now go into the diary room to call each other out, at least we'll rest for this bottom four dynamic, because it's reducing it's reducing people's steez. Well, I'll still be back here tomorrow to give you more exciting spice from the Big Brother Naija house as it emerges. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Of course, leave your comments right here under Leadership TV. I'm still saying Fair Honor. I'll be back in another video with more exciting news from the Big Brother house.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 08036886158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.